Welcome back to another episode. Today we are embracing calm in a bottle with Serenity Restful Blend.
If you're looking to chill out or add a little bit more peace into your day,
Or night.
yes, or night, this blend is your new best friend.
So let's get all tucked in and do a little pillow talk. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right, great. So the Serenity Restful Blend honestly is one of my favorites. I use this product almost daily, and sometimes I forget, but I regret it when I forget.
Okay.
So here's the thing about the Restful Blend. You've got the oil, which is amazing, 15 ml. You've also got a 5 ml, which you can buy. Okay, I'm just gonna put those there.
Okay.
Look at these products too.
There's a whole lineup.
The Serenity Stick,
My
plus
favorite.
Valerian. I use this blend almost daily, put it on the bottom of my feet right before I go to bed. Such an awesome addition, which came, I think, a couple years ago. And then we have the Serenity Restful Complex Soft Gels. So we're not gonna hit a lot into these today, but just know they're available. But this right here, such a powerful blend. I diffuse it as well almost every night.
I want to discuss the pip. Let me snag the pip real quick. Okay, so such good information on the product information page, and everyone has access to this.
On the website.
On any doTERRA website.
On any product page,
Yes.
yep, it's available to you.
They're everywhere. So the soothing and grounding aroma of doTERRA Serenity Restful Blend is a magical mix of CPTG, lavender, cedarwood, coriander, ylang-ylang, marjoram, Roman chamomile, vetiver, and sandalwood essential oils with hints of tonka bean and vanilla absolute. So this blend creates a calming, tranquil atmosphere. So basically we're talking sleep, snooze, napping all today, right? That's our whole, yeah. And we want to go talk to some experts. We're going to split up today, a little different. I'm going to go chat with Nicole. You're going to go chat with Ben.
Yep, from sourcing.
Yep, and we're excited to learn more about this oil.
Okay.
See you later.
See you later.
Good morning. Long time no see. I get to see you. I get to interview you today, and I'm so excited.
Me too.
Welcome.
I am Nicole Stevens. I am the Vice President of Clinical Research. Yeah, I've been with doTERRA. I've been here at corporate since 2015. So
I love it. Well, today we're chatting, discussing, reviewing, and learning about Serenity oil.
a lot.
And I know that you love Serenity. And I have a feeling that you're just like probably huge in the whole dynamic of Serenity. So tell us about Serenity and just your part and love for it.
Yes. Okay. So, of course, we had the very first Serenity that was launched clear back at the beginning of doTERRA. And this has truly been one of my all-time favorite doTERRA blends that they've ever done. I tell the story that when I was having my youngest baby, I decided I was going to have a natural birth. I was going to do it. Because I had all my other births kind of, traditional, hospital, whatever. And I thought, no, I've got the tools to do this. So I learned, breathing and meditation techniques, relaxation techniques, and Serenity. So I got there, and this baby, she came out, and the first thing she smelled was Serenity.
Oh, interesting.
And there was no drugs. There was no fear.
Oh, interesting.
This was just so calming that it was the perfect natural birth that I wanted. And I love that that was the first thing she smelled in this world. What a way to come into the world, right?
That's so interesting.
And to this day, she still diffuses it at night. She loves it, and I love it. So we put it on each other, and we just have a moment at the end of the day.
She locked in on it.
She is. This is part of her DNA, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, we have only made it better in the time since. We got to a point where we thought, can we add some things to make this better? That's when Vetiver came around. That's when the tonka bean was added for some really round, beautiful notes. It's very similar to what it's always been, just a little better, I think.
So did you specifically grab or use that oil because it's the calming blend? Tell me why you wanted that oil for that experience.
Yes. I wanted to be calm because...
Okay.
In a lot of my studies, I'm learning that the more calm we are, the less fearful and anxious and tight and tense we are. And that's exactly what you want to be in a lot of situations, but especially when you're giving birth, it can be a very high intensity situation.
Yeah.
Right? And I thought, I want to I want to empower myself to be as calm as I possibly can. And I tell you what, it really worked.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
Did you diffuse it? Did you use it any other way? How were you using it?
I did it. I think we diffused it. We got permission. Because you have to in a hospital. We got permission because I had a midwife, and she was a good advocate for me and for that.
Cool.
And then I would just have my husband actually just, put it right by my face.
So you could
sometimes
smell
I got it
stronger.
really strong.
Oh, that's amazing. What a great experience. I love that. So you kind of mentioned some of the just the blend of the oils that we're using. I
Yeah.
want to ask you about that. I'm seeing the list here
Yeah.
of what's actually in Serenity. Why this list of 8 oils? Why the blend? Like, kind of give us a background on that.
Yeah. We went through and we found some of the most calming, relaxing essential oils that we know that have been studied in the literature, that have been, anecdotally for millions of people for lots of generations. Of course, we reach for some that we're really familiar with, lavender.
Yeah.
That one's got our linalool, linalool acetate. Those are the constituents that we know help calm the brain, calm the body. Interestingly, coriander in there.
I saw that on the
It
list.
has another kind of linalool in it, and their aroma is a little bit different too. Right? Lavender is very floral, a little bit herbal, where coriander is very fruity and kind of round.
Oh,
So it makes the
interesting.
blend very more complex and interesting, I think. And then you get into your ylang ylang, right?
Yes.
That's a really strong floral. It has lots of beta-caryophyllene. I don't know if people know that, but the constituent that we commonly associate with copaiba, that really powerful, so we wanted to add that into the Serenity to make sure it had those properties too. Of course, we've got the Vetiver, Roman chamomile, sandalwood. These are your base notes of a blend. They contain the really big, heavy sesquiterpene chemistry that make it last a really long time. And they're very
interesting.
calming to the body as well. Those sesquiterpenes are just, we find them in roots and woods. And
I was
they're
going to say grounding.
very grounding.
That's the word
Yeah.
that comes to mind.
I think one of the most interesting ones is that marjoram. We don't talk about marjoram.
We
a lot.
don't. I was going to say I don't know very much about marjoram.
It's a really cool essential oil. So it's got some similar chemistry, in fact, to tea tree. So in the Serenity blend, it's contributing, among other things, some terpene 4-all,
Okay.
which is, it smells almost astringent. It's a very intense smell on its own, but in a blend, it can actually help with some of those feelings of open breathing and very, calming to that system of your body. So at night, that's a really good thing to have. When you're trying to calm down, you want to be able to just breathe freely and openly and help let your body feel calm with that.
So out of those 8, super cool that you told us how they all fit together. Do you have a favorite oil in that list?
Oh, of all of those, ooh,
I know.
that one's tricky.
And they all serve a different purpose.
They
so.
really do. And I would reach for different ones for different reasons, which is why I love them all in the blend. But I might have to actually choose coriander.
That is so funny because while you were talking, I was like, I have zero experience with
my
coriander.
Gosh. Coriander's fantastic. And again, this is one of the lesser known ones. We don't talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
But the aroma of it really speaks to me. That version of the linalool, I don't know why, my body and my brain really respond to it.
Oh, that's cool.
It's so just fruity and light and delicious. I love that one.
I'm going to have to experience that one today as well. You also mentioned tonka bean. I saw that on the pip. Explain or elaborate more. I don't even know what that is. What is tonka bean?
So this is a fruit that comes from South America.
Okay.
And it creates an extract that is so yummy. It's hard to even describe. It's almost like a mixture of brown sugar and that really like vanilla almond flavor.
Oh,
So
interesting.
in this blend, it kind of rounds out the notes of the aroma, but it also has its own, power because our brains respond to pleasant smells.
Yeah.
Most of us like that smell of like the cherry vanilla almond
Yes.
smell. It's very pleasant.
Amazing. Thank you for expounding on that. What kind of studies have been done around this? And also, how did we as doTERRA and you even know to like bring all this together? Kind of tell us that journey.
So the initial blend, I have to just really give props to our founders. They came into this with a lot of intuition about what oils should, what oils do what and what should be done. Because back then, number one, we didn't have the technology.
Okay.
And number two, we really didn't have a lot of the scientific methodology that we have now to test it. So they were putting things together intuitively. And we've since tested it and said they were right on track.
Oh, that's
right. They
so
were right on target.
interesting.
So these oils kind of came together based on what is known in the other literature about these very calming and relaxing essential oils. And we have since absolutely validated that this blend is very powerful. One of our biggest and most, I think, in-depth studies to date really has been on this Serenity as a system.
Really?
So we had our participants diffuse the oil.
You ran this study, right?
Yes.
I thought so.
We had our participants diffuse the oil for a week and then do the oil and the stick together for another week, and then do the oil and the stick and the soft gel together for another 4 weeks.
Oh.
So it's kind of like an additive
Yeah.
study. And we were looking at how do they feel? How well do they sleep? What's the quality of their sleep like? And then potentially most interesting to me was the epigenetic part. So, we all come with genes in our cells, our instructions of what are going to make our bodies, but those are very responsive to what our environment is telling us. So the things our mom did when she was pregnant with us, the things we did as a child, the things we do every day are actually affecting our DNA and changing how we can better adapt to our environment.
Okay.
So if we're sending messages like this, telling our body, you can adapt to your environment by being more calm, by getting better sleep, by relaxing, by kind of resetting each day, that's a really strong message. And in that study, we found that the Serenity was sending a signal just like that. It was saying, I'm going to make your circadian rhythms nice and even so that you have a time where you can go to sleep each day and get really good quality sleep. I'm going to improve your metabolism. I'm going to make it so that your body is functioning better both while you're sleeping and during the day. So, it was crazy the things that we were seeing that this could do. By supporting a good night of sleep, we were just improving so many body systems.
Amazing.
It was really exciting.
So exciting.
To see that result. And just, it's so simple. That was what really kept getting me. It's so simple and easy to integrate this.
And so many different ways to get it in you and on you.
Yeah. And, people can be, I encourage people always listen to your body, because if you start to do that and you'll pay attention to those signals, you really can dial in on, I'm drawn towards doing this as a routine, or I'm going to add in this and see what happens, and pay attention to what my body's telling me and sending that message back.
I love that. That's amazing. I'm just looking at this lineup of Serenity, obviously, with the oil being what we're discussing and learning about today. But how are you using Serenity? We heard your story, your amazing story with your daughter and your baby. Like on a daily, like yesterday, did you use Serenity and how did you use it?
So I a lot of me is very traditional, and I love to use the products just like we've talked about and just like we did in the study. So diffuse the essential oil before bed. We take and just rub the stick up and down each other. Arms, we like the inside of the arms.
Same. That's where I do it.
And then I'll put it here, right below the ears or back of the neck.
Okay.
Because the skin's a little bit thinner there. So you can kind of get some good absorption.
Yeah.
In sleep, our bodies are processing emotions. They're storing long-term memories. They are making connections. And so if you start that process consciously, you can continue it unconsciously, and it really gives you some good results. So I encourage people to kind of to habit stack, right? To do things as part of a bedtime routine, not just throw this on and then go back to my computer and keep working. No. Turn off your screen. Make it a time where you are having your body ready to go to sleep, right? Give a massage or receive a massage, have a conversation, take a bath. That's one way I love to use this one sometimes, is with the Epsom salts. Right? Take a bath or put on a time for a bath. I'll put a few drops on the shower, at the side of the shower,
so you're
and let the
smelling
steam
it.
kind of carry it to me.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then, of course, the Serenity soft gels. These ones, for me, I'll respond to just one. Some people need two, but this is one, if you'll take it, a little while before bed and then do your routine, it can really make some powerful results.
Well, is there any last, if you were chatting with someone who's never used Serenity or is very new to oils, what would you talk with them about with Serenity? How would you advise them?
I would say if someone's really new to it, easiest way is to throw it on a diffuser. If they don't have a diffuser, then, the cupping
in your hands.
Or adding it to some massage oil and doing massage, unless they have a stick, which I like even better. Because this one has the valerian in it too. We didn't really discuss the valerian, but that is amazing.
That's so great. A couple drops in the diffuser?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will put, I think in the study we did quite a few drops just to make sure. We couldn't tell the size of people's bedrooms, and they were all different. So we did quite a bit in the diffuser in the study, but typically I'll do like 5 or 10 drops depending on how stressed out I am that day and how much I need.
Yeah, I always lean towards more for me because I want it like more powerful. But depending on, how your kids respond and everything. I've tested all that out with my family.
It's great too. Some of the diffusers we have are long, like 8 or 10 hours.
Yeah, they go forever.
Those are the best ones to use for night, at least in my opinion, because that way you kind of get it all the way through the night.
Yeah.
And your body can continue to receive, okay, keep relaxing. because some people have a problem waking up in the middle of the night,
Yes.
having a hard time
It's a
settling
big
back
problem.
down.
Yeah.
So there have been a lot of really cool studies about what your brain is doing when you're sleeping. And they've shown that lavender can help with that deeper restorative sleep.
Yeah.
Calms your brain down a little bit more, especially if it's continually diffused. So that's a good recommendation for someone if they're not very familiar.
Yeah, amazing. I'm just sitting here thinking, gosh, for someone who uses this often, I'm pretty regular with my Serenity, especially with my youngest.
Yes.
Thanks for creating this and studying it and putting it into motion and proving it through all of your research and just
Oh my gosh.
everything. Thank
Yeah.
you for doing all of that for us.
Well, and I got to say, if you're into DIYs, which we love to do our DIY oil stuff too,
Okay.
it's super easy. If you take some whole coconut oil, the white solid stuff, you melt that down.
Okay.
And then let it cool just until it starts to kind of re-solidify. Throw some of this in.
Okay.
And sometimes I'll put in a little bit of extra vanilla, a little bit of extra vetiver, copaiba,
Okay.
a little bit of other things that I like to mix together. I'll even take some actual vanilla bean and put it
Okay.
in there.
I'm dying to know where you're going with this DIY.
I know, right? And then you let it fully re-solidify into like a little container of some sort.
Okay.
That's what I love to rub into, like cuticles, elbows, feet with some socks on.
Really?
And not only do you get the aroma, but then you get some additional moisturization, and that becomes part of a routine where it's like kind of
Oh.
self-massage, relaxing. Okay, I'm going to turn my brain off and just massage my cuticles for a minute.
Oh my gosh. So
So,
interesting. I've
yeah.
never heard that. That's
It's
exciting.
super easy. And I love the little, I know doTERRA does sometimes for LTO, the little pots of,
Yes.
and I love those. And then I use them all up and then they're gone. So, like, okay, I'm just going
So you
to.
refill them with your
Make
own
some of my
DIY.
own.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Thank you for all of your knowledge and experience and usage. And this has just been so helpful. So thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
I love chatting with you.
You too. What a pleasure. Thanks.
Ben, how you doing?
Great. How are you?
Good.
Yeah,
Super
good to
happy
see
to
you.
talk to you.
Likewise.
I know we've had you on the podcast before.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think we were talking about lavender.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit similar to that. We're going to talk about Serenity today. But why
Awesome.
don't you just remind the audience kind of who you are, what your role is here at doTERRA?
Okay. My name is Ben Platt. I'm on the sourcing team. I'm a senior director over strategic sourcing and kind of oversee sourcing in the Americas, Africa, and parts of Europe.
Let's say you're sometimes traveling to these places too, right? Like you're
Frequently, yeah.
seeing.
Yeah.
It's cool. You're meeting the partners, right?
Yep.
And how was that experience?
It's life-changing.
I'm sure.
You do it once and you think, oh, my life just changed. Like I have a totally new perspective and I see things differently. And then you do it again and it happens again. And it's like, wow, like every place has its own story. Every people has its own unique addition to what we do. And it's really, really cool.
That's amazing.
I mean, I've been at doTERRA now almost 8 years and it doesn't change. I'll go somewhere that I haven't been before, or I'll visit a new community within an area that I've already been. And just seeing the people and connecting with them reminds me that what we're doing is really impactful. It's really meaningful, changing lives. It's blessing lives. It's really, really cool.
When you zoom out, it's amazing to see the global impact, right, of our company.
Yeah, 40 plus different countries, lots of different oils, lots of different communities, lots of different supply chains. It's really powerful.
So cool. So
Yeah.
cool. Well, let's get into Serenity.
Okay.
Blends are a little bit interesting, right?
Yeah.
From a sourcing perspective,
Yep.
because you've got 8 different essential oils in here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if we focused on all of them, it'd probably be a long podcast, right? So kind of going through some of these, obviously we have lavender, cedarwood, coriander, ylang ylang, marjoram, Roman chamomile, vetiver, sandalwood. So we've got 8 different essential oils.
Yeah.
But what are, if you look at that list, what are some of the ones that are your favorite on that list?
Yeah. So first, it's the blend of all of them in their different ratios that makes Serenity special, right? It's you can't do Serenity without the whole blend in their different ratios, and I think that's what makes Serenity so powerful, right?
Yeah.
So lavender has its presence there, which is obvious. I think some of the oils that are less obvious but still contribute to the whole thing, vetiver would be one that I would call out. Sourced from Haiti, it's a really unique sourcing story. It's a grass that grows all over the mountains in Haiti, and it's super resilient. The plant is, and then we distill from the roots instead of the actual top of the plant, which is very unique. That's very different, right?
Wow.
And so it's got this smooth, earthy aroma that's kind of a soothing aroma and is well known for that. And so vetiver obviously brings a lot to the table when it comes to this the sleep aspect of Serenity. That's one that very unique sourcing story, very unique region in the world. Obviously, Haiti can be a little bit challenging at times. It's currently challenging just because of the unrest there.
Yeah.
But the oil itself has a really unique and really beneficial aspect to the whole Serenity product. So,
is there a reason you said the root, right? And
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued why that particular part of it. I mean, is that just where the essential oil is held? Like, how is it?
Yep.
Give us a little bit of the process of Vetiver.
Okay, so it's a perennial grass. So if this is the soil, you've got the grass up here that everyone sees. Everyone in the world sees this up here.
Yep.
No one sees this down here, which is this root system.
Yep.
And it's 2 to 3 feet deep, right?
Oh my.
It's a really deep, extensive, fibrous root system. And so when I've watched the harvesters harvest it, they get these big pickaxes and they're chunking into the dirt and pulling off this massive root system. And it's, I don't know that they're getting all of it, but they're getting 24 inches worth of soil and root system. Then they've got to shake all that soil off and separate it from the root system, separate the root from the top, and then bundle those roots into these big bundles. They call them bales, but they bale them, and that's what gets distilled. And it's just so unique. Obviously someone at some point discovered that in the root system there was a beautiful smell, but really, really cool that somebody was able to innovate around that and create a beautiful product that's world known. Everyone knows that Vetiver has soothing, calming properties, and I think it's a really fascinating story.
That is amazing. And out of Haiti, which like you said, has its challenges, right?
Yeah.
So that's awesome. As far as any others, I mean, Vetiver, and you're so right? When we think about Serenity, I know for me, I think mostly lavender, right?
Yeah.
But it's these kind of undertones of some of these amazing essential oils. So are there any others that really have a cool sourcing story or a background?
Sandalwood is another one that jumps out to me. So when you grow a lavender crop, you know that you're growing it in rotation, right? And so every 10 years, you're going to pull out your lavender and put a new lavender, and you're constantly managing it from that.
Sure.
Well, Sandalwood's like a 30-plus year rotation, right? And so it takes the level of difficulty from 5 to 7 years to a big difficulty to manage a forest environment, a healthy forest environment, where every year you're harvesting a little bit, replanting a little bit, but you've got to do it over a 30-plus year time frame. And that's really, really difficult. But what's cool is that doTERRA committed to that right from the get-go. KMR is Kealakekua Mountain Reserve, right, is a project that is wholly owned by doTERRA. Yep. It's thousands of acres of natural Hawaiian forests, which include sandalwood. And they're managing that so that over the course of 30 years, you're rotating through the property, harvesting just a little bit, planting more. And that's a really complex but really beautiful sourcing story. Because in the aggregate, like if you come back to me in 30 years and say, how do we do? The forest will actually be healthier and stronger and more vibrant because of the way we're managing the forest. Sandalwood, it's got the same soothing, calming properties in it. It contributes to the blend, right? But it's got that sourcing story behind it that's just so powerful and so beautiful.
That is amazing. Well, and I hope to touch more on that story, obviously, in future episodes.
Yeah.
Because I think sandalwood could really hold its entire weight. There's such a beautiful story behind that.
That's definitely right. Yeah, I think you're spot on there.
Yeah. Well, Ben, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Like I said, I wish we could go over all of these, but hopefully we'll cover them in a future time. But appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you soon.
Likewise.
Hey, we are back.
How was your talk with Nicole?
It was amazing. Every time I chat with Nicole, I learn so much, and I just think she has just the most amazing knowledge that she shared with us today. So I loved it.
Ben shared some amazing sourcing insights about 2 of the oils in Serenity. Incredible as always.
Thank you for joining us on this episode, this calming episode about Serenity Essential Oil.
Yeah, make sure, as always, to subscribe to the podcast, to YouTube, wherever you're viewing this content. And make sure you share your thoughts about not only the episode format, how we're doing these, but also Serenity Essential Oil. We'd love to see how you're using the oil.
Hey, good night.